6 months ago, something incredible happened in the world. Millions of people disappeared without a trace in one moment. It became one of the most devastating events in the history of mankind. They began to call him Ascension. Financial markets collapsed, and the authorities of all the world's countries recognized their helplessness. No one has yet been able to explain why these people disappeared. Solar flares, secret weapons, aliens or God, everyone had their own theories, but no one knew the real truth. Many people are trying to conduct their own investigation. One of them is a pilot named Ray Ford Still, or just Ray. Half of the passengers on board his plane disappeared during the flight. Among them were his wife, Irene, and his young son, Rami. The man misses his family very much. He has only one eldest daughter, Chloe. Ray admits to his daughter that he is finally ready to return to work. Chloe smiles at her father, but in fact she also misses her mother and brother very much and even blames herself for not saving them. She has nightmares about going to the afterlife, but even there she can't find her brother. Famous TV journalist Cameron Williams, or simply Buck, hosts a news broadcast and reports on the recent increase in crime rates. People's anger, fear, distrust, and thirst for revenge are on the rise. The fact is that artificial intelligence has reported a high probability of a second wave, that is, the redisappearance of a large number of people. Because of this, the world is gradually plunging into chaos. Buck is a true fighter for the truth. The more he interacts with different people, the more he realizes that the authorities are hiding something from their citizens. Because of this, he constantly fights with his boss, Steve Plank, and realizes that he may soon be fired. Buck calls his friend, the talented hacker Dirk Burton, and makes an appointment with him. They secretly communicate in one of the classrooms of the University of Boston. It turns out that a worldwide conspiracy is taking place right now to control the global financial system. At the center of this conspiracy is media mogul Jonathan Stonegall. He owns 15 TV channels, 120 radio stations and almost 300 newspapers. There are also several publishing houses and pharmaceutical companies. His power and wealth have increased enormously over the past 6 months. We find out that Buck and Chloe are acquainted. They met on Ascension Day. They were both on the plane that Ray was piloting. Buck complains from his girlfriend that he is forbidden to tell the truth and is required to voice false news to the people every day. Suddenly, an alarm goes off for everyone. This is a warning that the second wave has begun, which means that many more people will disappear soon. Buck urgently returns to the studio and records a new edition of his TV program. Together with other experts, they discuss the reasons for Ascension, but their opinions are radically different. Someone believes in UFOs, someone in God, and only the LHC is trying to explain everything with science. The next UN conference is taking place soon. On it, politicians led by Jonathan Stonegall propose to organize a single world economy, that is, to unite all countries into one and use a common payment system called Eden. Buck is supposed to take a short interview with the developer of Eden, Nobel laureate Chaim Rosenzweig, but he does not address him, but Stonegall. Buck learns that all countries except Romania and Israel agree to accept the new economic order. Buck communicates with his boss and shares with him his suspicions about the global conspiracy theory. People were warned about the second wave of disappearance, but not a single person was missing. It looks like a common intimidation tactic. Steve gets nervous and demands that Buck forget about his investigation and never talk about it on the news. Ray reads the Bible, and then visits the website of the Church of New Hope, which his wife once visited. Unfortunately, this account has already been blocked. Then he personally goes to that very church. It looks dilapidated. It turns out that after Ascension, people threw stones at her. Ray notices red spots on the road and finds a small house next to the church. He goes inside, wanders through the rooms, and soon finds himself in the main church building. It looks like vandals have been here recently. The fact is that sometimes fear and hatred turn into violence. Ray finds Pastor Bruce Barnes. The man says that he was attacked by bullies. The pastor is sure that all the people who disappeared during the Ascension went to heaven. Chloe returns home along a deserted street and feels inexplicably anxious. A street robber rushes at her. This man tries to snatch her bag, the girl uses pepper spray and the robber runs away. Chloe starts crying from pain and fear. Among the scattered things, she notices a business card from the Church of New Hope. Chloe visits her mother's friend, Dr. Amanda White, at the hospice, and the kind woman treats her wounds. Ray and Pastor Barnes are discussing biblical prophecies. According to the priests, the Antichrist is about to come to earth, and a 7-year period of darkness, sorrow, and terror will begin. Buck and Dirk try to hack into Eden's servers, and soon they start receiving threatening messages. Against all odds, Dirk manages to log into the Eden system. Ray is visited by his girlfriend and former colleague named Katie. She says she quit her job at an airline and got a job at the United Nations. Now she is helping Romanian Ambassador Nicolae Carpathia. Katie tries to seduce Ray, but the man still loves his wife, so he refuses her. Dirk meets with Buck and informs him that Eden is not just a payment system. There is a surveillance system, all biometric data, and finances. Whoever controls it will, in fact, become the new world ruler. Dirk also reveals that he has a secret informant in Eden. Romanian Ambassador Nicolae Carpathia delivers a very emotional and pretentious speech. He promises to restore world order, and people believe him. Buck talks to Steve again. He wants to tell the audience about Eden Istanoglo, but instead of being praised by his boss, he will be fired. Buck must leave the studio immediately. Buck meets with Dirk and learns another shocking news. The Eden system is directly related to the disappearances of people. It is not at all a fact that there was a second ascension at all. It seems that it was invented in order to further intimidate people. No one personally knew any of the missing people. Buck and Dirk meet with another studio employee, Connor. They are being watched by 2 suspicious men at this time. Soon Dirk notices a bomb in the car. Buck and Connor survive, but Dirk, unfortunately, does not. Ray calls her daughter and asks her to come to the Church of New Hope. Chloe refuses to do this. Fran, one of the patients, overhears her conversation and declares that she urgently needs to go to Pastor Barnes. Amanda, Fran, and Chloe arrive at New Hope Church and ask Pastor Barnes a bunch of questions. The man admits that many terrible things will happen in the near future and the Antichrist will gain power. Perhaps the ascension took place precisely so that some people would not suffer on earth. Buck sneaks into Dirk's office to retrieve his work laptop with valuable information. He is immediately chased by the very people who planted the bomb in their car. Buck escapes and hides in the trash can with Dirk's laptop. The men fire several bullets in that direction, but the tank turns out to be strong enough, and our hero survives. Tycoon Jonathan Stonegal talks with Ambassador Nicolae Carpathia and informs him that he wants to make him his successor at the United Nations and in Eden. Chloe goes to the old cemetery and digs one of the coffins out of the ground. Soon, Buck appears there too. They open the coffin together and see that it is empty. There's only a dress in it. At this point, Chloe begins to believe in God and in ascension. Chloe returns to the church and listens to Pastor Barnes' sermon. Buck calls the creator of Eden, Haim, and informs him that Jonathan Stonegal has turned this payment system into a way to control all of humanity. Anyone who asks too many questions is eliminated. Buck promises to bring Haim proof of his words. Haim tells about this conversation of Nicolae Carpathia. The Romanian ambassador wants to meet with Buck personally. All our heroes gather in the church. Pastor Barnes considers Jonathan Stonegal to be the Antichrist, who supposedly came to save everyone, but in fact wants to subjugate the whole world. Chloe gives Buck her cross and hugs him. They confess their love for each other. The next day, Buck visits Haim and gives him all the evidence against Stonegal. He finds out that the authorities want to sign a peace treaty for 7 years. This figure was mentioned in the biblical prophecy. At this point, Buck also begins to believe in God. Buck calls Connor and asks for his help. They need to tell the whole world about what they've learned. Our hero shares information with those who are willing to listen to him. But suddenly it turns out that the main villain here is Nicolae Carpathia. He was Dirk's secret informant. He is the one who wants to defeat all his competitors. He is the real Antichrist. Carpathia gets rid of Stonegal and one of the guards, but at the same time informs the others that it was allegedly the guard who attacked him and Stonegal first. Nicolae Carpathia delivers an important speech and proclaims himself the new world leader and Secretary General of the United Nations. Buck is also recording his video message at this time. Thanks to Connor, it's being broadcast on multiple screens. But telling the truth is not enough. You also need to escape from those who are ready to destroy you for the truth. There are real races on the roads. At the last minute, our heroes manage to get to a small plane, take off on it and leave the country. Now they need to share the truth with the whole world. On the other hand, is it possible to stop a prophecy that is already written in the Bible? What do you think?